Hi, my name is Trevon Simmons, and I'm assistant manager for Eduko Pathways. And we are online today with Mr. Ahamed Miflal, regional representative South Asia, Middle East, North Africa for Asia Pacific University Malaysia. So we are here to introduce the university and to give some information about current programs, about current situation. So I'll just give it over to Miflan just to give an introduction about things.
Yeah, thank you, Trevon, and thank you, Eduko Pathways, for organizing this valuable session for our audience who are actually currently stuck at their residence. So, first of all, we hope that for those who are watching us today, you are keeping safe during this trying times. We are in this together. So, just to introduce about myself, my name is Ahamed Miflal, as my colleague Trevon introduced to you. I'm a Sri Lankan, first of all. I did my studies, my bachelor as well as master's at Asia Pacific University, APU Malaysia, the university that I represent today. Now, I'm a full-time staff of the university, and I look after the Sri Lankan market based in Sri Lanka. And in addition to that, I cover countries related to South Asia, Middle East, and North Africa. So before I joined, before I speak about APU, let me just give you a little bit of introduction about Malaysia as an education destination, because as Sri Lankans, generally speaking, our mindset generally is to look into countries like UK, Australia, Canada, New Zealand. So those are the options we are looking at. But Malaysia is also among the top 5 higher education destinations in the world. So when it comes to cost factor, it's among the most affordable study destinations right now in the world if you compare with the top 5 education destinations. And if why I chose Malaysia to study during my bachelor time when I went in 2009-10 during that time for my bachelor's in international business management. One thing is the culture. So the South Asian culture that we represent, it's pretty much almost the same culture that we have in Malaysia. So as an international student, when you go to a foreign country, and especially when you commit 3 years or 4 years of your life in a foreign country, so the culture, it is easier to adapt, even the food and all that as well. So whatever kind of food that we look at, it's also available in Malaysia. So food is not a problem, culture is easily adaptable. So these are some of the factors, and also the cost of education is at a very affordable rate if you compare with other countries, and easier accessibility to student visa. So student visa is also something that you require when it comes to your higher education. Definitely our partner Eduko Pathways is able to guide you on that. So definitely they will be there to support you on that. And also the quality education. Prominently, before you choose a degree, the quality is very important. The recognition that you have for your degree plays a major role before you select a destination and the university. So what I was personally convinced about my selection at Asia Pacific University together with my parents when I went to visit the university was, one thing was the recognition. So this recognition played a major role because your degree is recognized, and the university has students from 130 countries currently, including students from Sri Lanka coming from various schools in Colombo, outside Colombo. So it's pretty much of a very multi-diverse exposure. So without further ado, let me also quickly run through on certain pointers about the university and some information to you, which Mr. Trevon and I, we think that we should share with our viewers today. And I would like to share my screen with you so that you can also take a look at what I would be sharing here over here. Just give me a second, please. Yeah. So, Mr. Trevon, can you confirm that you can see my screen at this point of time? Are you in a position to view my screen? Your audio is muted, Mr. Trevon.
Yes. Yeah,
okay,
that's perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for the confirmation. Yeah, so to our viewers, this is a university located in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, which is the strategic point, the capital of Malaysia. Imagine you're a foreign student, you're going to a university to study, and the university location plays a major role. So this is where we are located, as you can see in the circle area here. This is Kuala Lumpur, that's the capital, where you have the accessibility to shopping malls. Your life is in the city, not in a place where it's totally outskirt. And if you, for those who have been to Malaysia, I would like to highlight this pointer here. If you can see my mouse cursor, this is the Twin Towers, the famous iconic Twin Towers in Malaysia, where it's located at this point. And in Google Maps, if you notice, it's about 23 to 25 minutes range from the iconic Twin Towers to Asia Pacific University, APU, Malaysia. And a few things that I would like to highlight. We are rated, the university is rated #1 for being the most multi-diverse university if you compare with the universities in South Asia. So having students from currently 130 countries, over here it should be updated here, 130 countries, about 12,000 students at an employability rate of 95%. So that's very important. So these are the most important things that I was looking at when I was looking for a degree, and also the recognition wise. The university has QS star ratings, and it's among the premier digital tech status. I would like to highlight here. This is one of the highly sorted out status in Malaysia for universities in computing, engineering, technology. So just before I speak about this, I also would like to emphasize Asia Pacific University is very much focused on computing, engineering, technology related programs. In addition to that, we run business, accounting, design, animation. Lanka to Malaysia. It's a yes, yeah.
Yeah. You got the screen was stuck. Now it's okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Thank you for confirming. If there's any technical issues, please highlight. Yeah. So thank you so much. So we have students coming from various nationalities together. So including students from Sri Lanka, Mauritius, Europe, Slovakia, Indonesia, South Africa, Brazil. So the multiculturalism is what's very important, because you're going to a university not only for your education, also for your exposure. So this exposure plays a major role when it comes to your higher education. So these are the nationalities that we represent. So every single week, there are so many events, activities, celebrations, etc., taking place as a value addition for our students coming from different countries. So we also have a Sri Lankan community at APU, Asia Pacific University. I would like to share a bit on the university facilities so that you will also be able to understand what kind of facilities we offer. Because to me, university facilities plays a major role in a decision that we look at when it comes to our higher education. The facility infrastructure, the accessibility to learning materials, and very most important part is to connect you with employability. So the connection with the employability is very important when you graduate. So university at Asia Pacific University has a very strong connection, industrial linkage with the companies, and the university has about 700 over partners they work with. So when you graduate, the chances of you getting hired with those partners among them is much higher. And every once in 3 months to 4 months, there are career fairs, activities that are taking place in the university. So you get to meet companies, and most importantly, the subjects you learn in the classroom is actually, those are the feedbacks you get from the companies like Microsoft, Google, Dell, Oracle, Hilti, and those companies we're talking about. So they give the industrial feedback. So we update the subjects in our, we update the feedback based on the feedbacks, we update the subjects that the university teaches the students. So that's very important, and the relevance to the industry, to all our audience who are watching us today, including the parents. And so you have quite a number of questions. For further questions, you can always contact our partner, Eduko Pathways. So they will be able to guide you. They will be able to connect us with you to help you out and to sort out certain questions you might have. So these are some facilities that we are looking at in the university. So this slide I'm showing you is something very special. This is called, as you can see in the title, it's called the Military Graded Cyber Security Lab, which means from these screens you see, you can see the real-time cyber threats that are happening right now at this point, at the very second, so that our students get to learn the real-time learning learning scenarios in their classroom. So we have a bachelor in cybersecurity, we have a master's in cybersecurity as well, and these are some highlights of the APU cybersecurity talent zone. So you will for students from network security, cybersecurity, those backgrounds, you get to have that exposure. And this is our library. As you can see, the university setup, it's very much of a very glass environment, and its transparency is what we believe in. So starting from the library to your classrooms, it has a very much of a dynamic setup for our students. So let me also show you a bit further insights of the university, the cafeteria. So in terms of food, Asian food, Middle Eastern food, Western food, so it's not a problem. The food is not a problem in Malaysia. At the latter part, let me also talk about the price point, the cost, which is very important factor when we decide on higher education, because costing plays a major role together with living cost and so forth. So design, animation labs, all these facilities are made available for our students. For those who would like to work out, to all the girls and boys, you can use our university gym. It's free of charge. And this is different kinds of sports facilities that we offer in the university. So I would like to also want to highlight, because another concerns parents usually have is that accommodation. Is there a place for my daughter or son or for myself to stay when I come to Malaysia? Don't worry, we have got it covered. So for your accommodations, we have on-campus accommodations as well as off-campus accommodations. The costing is between, for accommodation within the campus is in Sri Lankan rupees is between 30,000 to 45,000 rupees range per month. So within that, we have different categories of twin sharing, single, twin compact. So it's a proper, safe environment within the university where girls and boys are separated. So for those parents who are looking into these aspects as well, so we are looking at the safety. It's very much important. So we are looking into these aspects very prominently. So as far as the programs are concerned, I would like to highlight on few areas. If you have completed from O levels, you could ideally enroll for a diploma program or foundation program. So we will talk about these things at the latter part. You can contact Eduko Pathways on that, so they can also get you further details. And if you're a student coming from A levels, advanced level, whether it's local A levels, Cambridge, EdExcel, you can directly join a bachelor degree first year if you meet the entry requirements. So these are the university programs we offer, especially within computing. We have specialisms. So what you can see here, these are the specialisms out of many options. These are some. So what degrees? Okay, before you choose a degree, what I want to highlight is that you need to be able to connect your degree with employment. If your degree is not getting connected with employment, that's not actually going to help you much on these lines. So therefore, I would like to quickly show you an image over here. Just give me a second. Industrial Revolution. So I want to show you this this image, so that this is what you should be looking at. You should be focusing on a degree that is in demand in future. So APU's focus is future. So as you can see from this screen, these are the degrees companies nowadays look at when it comes to Industry Revolution 4.0. So this Industry Revolution talks about degrees within IT, engineering, business, and also digitalization. So as you can see, Internet of Things, IoT, data science, cyber security, cloud computing, artificial intelligence. So within engineering, we have mechatronic engineering, which talks about robotics. We're talking about e-business. Nowadays, you're at home, stuck at home because of this lockdown, and you are doing somehow or other e-business. You're ordering your food, you're ordering your essentials through a website or something. So that is e-business. So this is the demand that you're looking at. And digital marketing. You might be working from home. You might be, doing your activities at home. So you are often online on Facebook and all those platforms. So that's when digital marketing plays a major role to get the idea, get the client connected. So these are the degrees you should be looking into when it comes to your next stage in career. So for more information, you can always connect with Eduko Pathways. They are happy to support you. And for students who are looking into accounting finance programs, we have very interesting array and options on forensics accounting, which is talking about investigation, because forensics is about investigation. So accounting, there are a lot of fraud activities can take place. So that's where the companies, finance sector, they need forensic accountants. So just to give a glimpse of it. And especially, this is very interesting. If you are taking a bachelor degree in accounting finance field at APU, you get exempted within the images that you can see. ACCA, you get 9 papers exempted, CIMA 6 papers exempted, and so on and so forth, right? I will quickly connect with you on the design, animation, and also master's program. We have the master's programs as well, from bachelor to master's to PhD. So very interesting options you can actually look into. So more information we will share at the link right at the bottom to Educo Pathways. You can get in touch. And MSc Data Science, Business Analytics, and that's also something interesting. Big data analytics is what we are looking at. Even just to give an example, with the current situation, the countries, they have this data about how many cases are there. So they are predicting how many cases will be there in another 4 weeks or 5 weeks down the line. So these are all big data analytics. So just talking about companies that we work with, these are out of many. These are some collaborative industrial partners that we work with very closely to connect the students with internships, because you will have an internship to do in your study, and also for employment parts as well. So these are some of the options out of many I would like to share with you. IBM, Shell, DHL, and all those companies that we commonly know of, Microsoft, and financial companies, FMCGs, and so on and so forth. So this is what's important, because you need to be connected with employability, and that support needs to be given from the first year, second year, all the way until you complete your bachelor program. And some of you might ask, so can I work while studying? What can I do as a student? I just don't want to study always, but can I do some extracurricular things, activities? Yes, in Malaysia at Asia Pacific University, you can work inside the university. Mind you, it's inside the university. We have these options like student ambassador. I started as a student ambassador. When I first went to Malaysia, and I was getting familiarized with the environment, and then I was starting to help the new students who are coming into Malaysia at APU. So that's when you call yourself a student ambassador, and you are joining with the student welcome team. There is a team called student welcome team, and they are supporting the new students. So when you first arrive, you will be well taken care of, and you will be taken through a familiarization process, and that's when you get connected. And we also have esports. Everything is all about E. We also have, for those who like to play Dota, FIFA, Counter-Strike, those gamers, we have all that as well for our students made available on a professional level. So this is our graduation. We have scholarships, right? We have our intakes. We also have scholarships if you have for postgraduate programs. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact Educo. We are more than happy to support you in this regard. So I would like to just, as I initially mentioned, I want to talk about the costing. If that's something that we would like to highlight, we wish to highlight with our viewers who are watching it. So they want to know, the parents want to know how much would it cost. As far as the cost factor is concerned, what happens is Asia Pacific University, if you are looking at the annual cost per annum, even if you're taking business, IT, engineering, accounting, whatsoever, the annual cost for the tuition fee is about 14 lakhs Sri Lankan rupees. Sri Lankan rupees is about 14 lakhs. You don't have to pay this in one shot. You can pay by semester 1, semester 2 payment, right? And your living expense per month, we are talking about your accommodation, we are talking about your food, we are talking about your transport, and so on and so forth. The living expense varies from student to student depending on the lifestyle. But if I'm to give you a value, overall value, that will fall between 50,000 rupees to 80,000 rupees a month. If you compare the range, that's the ideal range, that inclusive of accommodation, food, transport, entertainment, maybe you might want to go to a shopping mall over the weekend with your friends for a movie or something like that. Yes, so all that is inclusive. So this is what we're talking about, and also the intake dates. So you might wonder, with the current situation, fine, I'm not interested. So what will happen to my intakes? Are we running any online classes? So what's the situation? So at Asia Pacific University and also overall, we are looking at this COVID situation very seriously. We are taking extra precautions on this. So for the nearest intake that is scheduled in June, 2nd June 2020, which is about 1 month and a half almost around there, we are running our online class for that particular intake. We are observing the situation. You can register for the program, and then we are running our online classes, the fee structures and everything. We can share the details with you when you get in touch with us and on those lines. As far as our physical classes, because there are students who might want to physically be in the university and then get that exposure, get that experience. You have our September intake and November intake as well. So given the situation improves in time to come, we are expecting the situation improves, because Malaysia is showing a very good response to managing the COVID-19 cases. In terms of their recovery rate is above 65% to 68% range. You can always check the stats, what I'm referring to here, to verified websites. So these factors are very important, and as international students, we are taking care of them. And for the current students, the digital classes are already taking place. For newcomers, you might have a e-orientation for if you're joining the 2nd June intake for bachelor's or foundation or diploma whatsoever. So this is about APU. Scholarships are available. Just to give you a quick touch on that, we have scholarships up to 30% from the tuition fees. Let's say your tuition fee is about 14 lakhs. If you get 3 A's or 3 A stars or from your A levels, you can get 30%. And some of you, currently with the current situation, especially the Cambridge and Edexcel students, you have requested for your predicted grades to be as counted as your final results. So for those students, you can apply with your predicted grades, your AS results. If you have, you can apply with that, and not a problem at all. You can directly enroll the first year of the degree. So we will also keep you informed of the developing updates through our partner Eduko Pathways Private Limited, and my colleague Mr. Trevon will also be there to support you as well. So, I hope I managed to touch on certain elements. Trevon, do you have anything to ask and clarify on behalf of our viewers who are actually listening to us today?
Yeah. Thanks, Miflal. I think you covered a lot. I think but most of the students have the questions they ask us, and especially with the scholarships and the entry requirements about the facilities. So one thing I just want to rephrase when you said, like, currently students can't work apart from in-house inside the campus, right? So just to make that clear,
Yes.
that students, because like say for other countries, they get 20 hours, but this is not available in Malaysia, right? It's
Yeah.
only in
Yeah,
campus.
that's right. Yeah, that's right. There's a reason for that, because if you compare the cost in a foreign country like UK, Australia, New Zealand, we are talking about 2-3 times more than higher than Malaysia. So because of that reason, Malaysia does not encourage students to do part-time studies, part-time work outside the university while working. Just imagine, for instance, if you are a student and you have your classes from morning until evening, for example, and imagine your part-time work starts around 7 o'clock in the evening, all the way until 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, maybe 1 o'clock, who knows, depends on the job, whatever. So that cycle may not be able to continue for a long time, because you have your classes the following day, you have your assignments to complete the following day. So this is kind of distracting usually a student's education goal. But however, you have an internship to do. So internship is something that you will have when you complete your second year. We have Sri Lankan students, real life examples, students who have performed very well during their internship from AI Asia, from Google. These companies I'm quoting, our students are working right now. They perform really well during the internship, and the companies come and tell, hey, why don't you come and work with us when you complete your bachelor, your final year? So they get the offer letters as well. So it's about building your profile, starting from the first year. A university will give you the support platform, but not the guarantee to the job. So in terms of support platform, Asia Pacific University has a very strong industrial linkage with companies. As I initially mentioned, we are working with companies. They come for career fairs every 3 to 4 months. Recently, we had the career fair just before we had this lockdown. We had companies coming from Australia, Japan, Singapore, Vietnam, and of course, Malaysia. So all these 5 countries, we have our industrial partners. They came, they recruited our students. So this is a cycle that we look at, and we are working really hard in terms of our students getting this employment part getting connected. So adding value to your certificate, not only on your academics, your career talks, your industrial visits, all that will be consistently will be taking place. I have gone through that experience as a student from Sri Lanka doing A-levels, going to Malaysia, being so reserved, introvert, antisocial character back in the days. Now when I talk, people wouldn't believe when I say that, because they say, hey, now you talk so much. How come? You're not a talkative person. You're a talkative person, they say now. Yeah, that's me right now after what I went through that exposure. Before that, that was not the case. So I am sure the audience who are watching us today, they will also experience this, and we have real life examples. And meanwhile, I would like to add on that we would also like to have another session with Eduko Pathways about further the questions that you have, and as an Q&A session, maybe a live sessions whatsoever. So over to you, Trevon.
Yeah, thanks, Miflal. I think you're a good example about uh, doing your internships and now representing APU as well, where you started your studies. So
Yeah.
basically, I think we have covered everything we wanted to. So um, we will keep this. I mean, whoever has any questions can SMS it to us or message us to Facebook, Instagram, or even comment below this video. So I'm sure Miflal will be very happy to answer things that he has not covered, things with regard to the current situation, next intake, all those questions. I know a lot of mostly the parents might have questions. So we will get in touch with Miflal in a couple of days as well to get his real life experience in Malaysia about how we study, how we uh, did everything by himself and to come up where he is today. So thanks, Miflal, for your time and
Thank you.
thank you very much. So thanks a lot and be safe.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us on behalf of Asia Pacific University. We would like to thank Eduko Pathways, our partner in consultants, for having us today and giving this opportunity to our valuable audience. I wish you all the best, everyone, and stay safe. Take care of yourself.
Thanks, Miflal.